picked some had a faith and a belief, and they came under his shade. If you want a friend in coaching, buy a dog. And you're on the team, make them the best that they can be. And that's having standards. So as I said, everything starts with a dream, a goal. Now let's say you have the goal. I want to give you a plan to show you the 5 assumptions. It's not complicated. Believe me. It isn't very complicated. We complicate life. Do you realize there are only 7 colors of the rainbow? But look what Michelangelo did with those 7 colors. There's only 7 musical notes. Look what Beethoven did with those 7 musical notes. There's only 10 numbers. Look what Bernie Madoff did with those 10 numbers. It doesn't have to be good, but it does have to be simple. And I want to give you a simple plan. And you know, it's not very complicated. There's only 3 points of plans you have to follow. We have federal laws, county laws, state laws, corporate laws, bylaws, and then laws. We only need 3 laws. Law number 1, do right. Do what's right and avoid what's wrong. There's never a right time to do the wrong thing. There's never a wrong time to do the right thing. Just do what's right. I do not think it's right to find a teammate's wallet before he lost it. That's called stealing. I found his wallet. Yeah, but he hadn't lost it yet. Just do the right thing. I think it's right to have the proper attitude. We're going to have adversity, we're going to have difficulty, and everything after life. That's part of it. But I also think it's the right thing to have fun and enjoy it. Every day I walk out on the football field. First thing I said, no, Red, boy, what a great day to work. I am so happy to be here in Atlanta. And I'd say to them, do you realize people come here in the summer and pay money to stay in the dorm and eat it, and hell, you get to do it for nothing. We take care of how lucky you are. Well, they say, hey, coach, it's great, but you have to feel that way. If you're excited about something, people are excited to be around you. People say, do you have fun doing TV? Not really. I'm up for Bristol, Connecticut. I'm up for a guy named Mark May. I understand it. Mark May is a beautiful human being. Smart, he's intelligent, he's professional. I love him like his brother. But we had a difference of opinion. We had no teleprompter, no script, no rehearsal. But we had a difference of opinion. He was a player, I was a coach. He made suggestions, I made decisions. He showered after work, I showered before work. He signed a paycheck on the back, I signed it on the front. You know, there's just a difference. But I would say to him all the time, Mark, I would love to agree with him. I really wanted to agree with Mark, but I said if I did, we'd both be wrong. And you have fun. When they turn that red light on, I'd have fun. I may not want to be there. It's in Connecticut, 15 minutes from Hartford by telephone. Hey, you don't want to do that. You know what? If you have fun, doesn't mean you don't do dumb things. Don't mean you might. I got on TV one time going to the University of Hartford. Well, the next week I had to apologize. I said, many of you wrote, I understand, I made a mistake. It's Auburn University. I'm a quick learner. Thank you for writing me. I will not make a mistake again. You don't have to write anymore. And then I turned to Reese Sam and said, Reese, I had no idea that many people from Auburn could write. So I'm talking about nasty letters. I only lied one time. Only one time that I did not speak from my heart. That's where Mark May said something about my golf game. I said, I want you to know I'm the best golfer at Lake Nona. Well, we have 14 touring pros. I'm a lousy golfer. And I get back the next day. Everybody's all the very best of your ability. That's all. That's all you have to do. Do the best you can. I'm here at the University of Notre Dame. We're heading 16-0 over Stanford. And we blew the lead and lost the game. Well, I went home, and I'll tell you, my attitude is I refuse to believe there's any problem, any difficulty, any obstacle that's going to keep us from being successful. I just have my attitude. And I can't stand it when we lose. You know why we lost? Because I, as a football coach, when had so much success, you start overlooking little things. You start lowering the standards. The best job you usually do in any coaching situation your first 2 years, because you don't know any of their parents, you don't know them, you don't know a doggone thing, you have standards, and everybody has to meet the same standard. And all of a sudden, you have good success, you start overlooking it. I went to him, and I said, it's my fault. I let you get by with things that ain't going to happen again. If I murdered tonight, the police won't even investigate it because you're all right guard there, and Taylor was in. Didn't take very long into practice to realize the second string left guard was just going through the motions. I stopped practice. I said, what gives you the right to tell your teammates to fail? The other 10 guys are playing their heart out with nothing to show for it because one guy is going through the motions. If you want to fail, you have the right to fail. You do not have the right to cause other people to fail because you don't live up to your obligation. You join a team, you join a spouse, bring a child along, you join a business. You have obligation, you have responsibility. I was an officer in the Army. I went to Afghanistan 2 summers ago to visit with the church. That's where you learn the obligations and responsibilities to other people. In this country, we'd be better off if everybody had to spend a year in the military. And I was in Afghanistan, 35-pound flak jacket, helmet. I came back, my wife said, were you ever scared? I said, not till I landed in Chicago. You have a love and a feeling and a caring to make it great. Notre Dame, we won the national championship. But people ask me to write Drew Holtz, national 88 national champ. I write that, and then I write Screwed 89 national. We go to the White House, first the president, and then we flew back that same day. I'm awakened at 1:30 in the morning. These stories are absolutely true. 1:30 in the morning. They tell me Bobby Satterfield had died of a congenital heart defect. He was at the White House that afternoon. He spent that night. And there wasn't a trace of drugs or alcohol in his body. So I told the telephone operator at Notre Dame to call every player, tell them I want a team meeting at 7:30. I go to that team meeting. I wanted to tell them before they went to class. Now, the players came in there in a great mood because they thought I was resigning. Well, and I told them Bobby Satterfield died. One young man passed out. Several started crying openly. If you're in that meeting, you could tell Bobby Satterfield was offense, defense, white or black, scholarship, non-scholarship, East Coast, West Coast. Well, you could tell the players loved him and they missed him. Bobby Satterfield was a senior, walk-on, defensive back, Afro-American from California. Wasn't an integral part of our team. Wasn't a great player. He's part of the team, and that's what great teams have. They have a love and a feeling and a care. Why is it so hard for a young team to win? Because they don't develop that love and that feeling that comes through adversity, through experience. And gentlemen, that's what makes things great. My wife is a cancer survivor, and unfortunately, we might be fighting that battle again next Wednesday. They lost 108-0. We're heading the fourth quarter, fans throwing oranges on the field. He said, what do you think when the fans were throwing oranges on the field? I said, thank God we weren't going to the Gator Bowl. That was just great. But then I had to suspend 3 athletes, scored 78% of our touchdowns, and let me say this, you never discipline an athlete. That's not your choice, that's not your prerogative, that's not your authority. But you must enforce the decisions people make. I said, if you violate the do right rule, you ain't playing. They violated the do right rule. That wasn't my fault. That was their fault. They chose not to play. All I do is enforce their decisions. And don't have a rule if you aren't willing to enforce it on everybody on the team. We're number 1 playing Southern Cal. They're number 2. We're both 10-0. That morning I have to send Ricky Waters and Tony Brooks home on an airplane. We went on to win the game, but when that airplane took off, I said, Lou Holtz, that was dumb. Don't do that again. Next time I'll put them on the bus. The whole 4 hours should take them 4 days, but you enforce other people's decisions. You choose to do this, you're choosing not to play. It's that simple. They take me to court to get an injunction. 3 players scored 87% of our touchdowns. Excuse me, 78% of our touchdowns. Bill Clinton was Attorney General. He represented me, won the case, lost the team. We became the largest underdog there's ever been in a major bowl. Our team was in disarray. About 3 days before the game, I had a team meeting. I said, I know why we can't win. Because every day I pick up a paper and I read about the great players from Oklahoma don't play. Then that same paper, I read about the great players from Arkansas that are not going to play. So I know why we can't win. I want you to tell me why we can. For a while, nobody said anything. Finally, one young man got up and said, Coach, we have the #1 defense in the country, which we did. He said, so we aren't going to get beat near as bad as everybody thinks. One wanted to step in the right direction. Then pointed out we had a great offensive line, we had a great competitive quarterback, had a great receiver, had the best punter and place kicker. I wanted to say they had a great coach that never came out. But the rest of the room was a different team. Why? Because they focused on why we could do something. Said, listen, everybody tell us why we can't. 3 days later, we won the game 31-6. Not because of coach, it's a group of people. So those are the only 3 rules. Do the right thing, do the best you can, show people you care. Why? Because there's 3 questions you ask about every athlete, and every athlete asks about you. We would sit down once a month and go over these 3 questions with every athlete. Question number 1, can I trust him? Can I trust him to be where he's supposed to be, know what he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to do it? That's number 1, to trust. Because without trust, there can be no relationship. How can you make sure that people can always trust you? That's why it's important to do the right thing. If you always do the right thing, you will always have trust on the team. Second question everybody wants to know, are you committed to excellence? Do you want to be good? You know, you have all the slogans you want. First will be best, then will be first. We're in the locker room.